you better get something straight right off the bat. There ain't room in this house for the both of us.
The rest of the family then shows up, making annoying and ridiculous requests with a fisheye lens camera focusing on their faces, distorting them and making them look very unsettling.
Stu, I didn't know you were coming over. I'm not Stu.
Is she?
Not Stu.
Our second nightmare comes in my left and right foot, where Michelle starts to get self-conscious about how her feet are growing larger. We're then treated to a nightmare where her feet grow to a ridiculous size on screen, accompanied by a gross stretching noise. The feet continue to grow until they're the size of the entire room. The family is terrified, and the only reasonable thing they can think to do is tickle them. Michelle wakes up screaming, thankful that it was just a dream. She pulls away her covers to see that her feet are still enormous, much to her horror. Thankfully, that was a dream too.
The Walrus is a very mysterious character, only appearing once in the entire series in the episode Pingu's Dream. Throughout his dream, the Walrus follows Pingu in what he thinks is a playful manner. To Pingu, however, this is very frightening and upsetting, given the size and demeanor of the Walrus. When Pingu meets the Walrus at first, he pops up from the scenery abruptly, snorting with a deep voice. He traps Pingu under an igloo and then stretches and squeezes him for his amusement.
Whatever it is you eat, make sure it's high volume, low fat. What do you eat anyway?
Chemicals, tacos, fajitas, chimichangas, quesadillas, burritos, refried beans, flan, sopapillas, cheese dipped, the speedy with beans, hot tamales.
Well, that's what we eat.
He takes Pingu's mattress and starts eating it. Why he eats the mattress is beyond us. After slowly walking away, Pingu then books it and runs, until he slips and falls down an icy slope. He falls and falls until he reaches his bedroom floor. Turns out, the slope was just his bed sheets. Pingu's mother then coddles him as he sobs and tells her all about his terrifying dream, and the walrus that stalked him. The walrus is a disturbing character thanks to his mostly silent demeanor. He is either staring uncomfortably with his dead, black eyes, or childishly snorting when he takes his playful jokes too far. He also has strangely realistic human teeth in place of tusks, not helping the situation. The walrus was so uncomfortable for children that the episode was actually placed on an unofficial ban from broadcast distribution. It was removed from British television in 2003 and was pulled from airing in the United States. It also was never released on VHS in the UK. Despite the censorship, it did manage to air once on PBS Kids Sprout in 2006. There was actually an earlier version of this episode that featured the walrus roaring and making disturbing squealing noises. This was changed to laughter because of how frightening the noises were to children. To end this entry off, here's an uncomfortable scene of the walrus speaking German in the creator Ottmar Gutmann's showreel.
It's us. Well, Space Ghost, I have an incredible head of hair.
Incredible edible cock.
Increíble. Astonishing.
Oh my god. Space Ghost, don't do that!
In the episode Part-Time Friends of Hey Arnold, both Arnold and Gerald decide they need part-time jobs, and decide to start working together at Miss Vitello's flower shop. At first, the boys are delighted to be working together, thinking of all the fun they'll have. However, soon Miss Vitello gets injured and leaves Gerald in charge of the store. Arnold finds that Gerald is far better friends than he is boss, and they begin to fight. Arnold quits, and the two vow to never speak to each other again. Later that night, Grandpa Phil tells Arnold about how he and his friend Jimmy Kafka had an argument when they were kids, and led to them never speaking again. The words haunt Arnold all throughout the night, eventually leading to a nightmare. In the nightmare, Arnold and Gerald run into each other on the bus 70 years later. The two still won't talk to each other, but have forgotten why they even started fighting. Suddenly, the distorted voice of Grandpa Phil taunts Arnold from the back of the bus, saying, What did I tell you, short man? We see the disgusting, rotting corpse of Grandpa Phil, laughing at Arnold until his jaw falls off.
Come on, folks. Gather round. I'll teach you my way so we can save this town. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to scorn. It's just a small nut, and it's called the acorn.
Oh, great. Hip-hop.
You can hoard them and hide them and bury them from sight.
Or fire them for cannons in the middle of the night.
You can store them in places where nobody knows. In a jar, in your bed.
Or in between your
What the
cup.
hell? Why did that need to be there? It certainly does its job by scaring Arnold into forgiving Gerald and helping out with the shop, but why is Zombie Grandpa such a dick? And why is he on the bus? Where is he going? I guess we'll never know. Frankly, we shouldn't know.
Marvin!
Samurai Jack.
A creature person bully magic.
It's difficult to classify
Question,
if
question,
Samurai
please,
Jack truly is a
imagine.
kid's show or not. The first 4 seasons aired on Cartoon Network, and while it was violent, it was
A
never
question,
too
question,
much to
question,
cross
please,
over
imagine.
into the adult territory. Of course, Season 5 changed all that with blood, swearing, and other adult themes, airing exclusively on Adult Swim. Given the more subdued tone of the first 4 seasons, though, and the fact that many children watched it, this moment from the Season 3 episode, Jack in the Haunted House, deserves to be on the list. While alone at night, Jack encounters a sobbing little girl. She runs away as he approaches her, and he follows her to an old house. While in the house, Jack experiences several visions of the people who once lived there, and the monster that attacked them.
No! Don't do this to me! I beg you! No! You steal my soul!
But if he don't, I get second dibs.
Which looks better?
Jack soon finds the girl and suggests they leave, but then finds that all the doors and windows have disappeared. With nowhere to go, the two decide to rest. When he wakes up, he finds the girl missing and hears music and chatter in the distance. He enters a well-lit room and finds the girl sitting around a table with the other family members. At first, Jack is wary, but is soon calmed by tea and small talk. The facade doesn't last for long, though, as the brother's eyes roll up slowly into his skull. The music becomes distorted and flashes of the room's true state of dilapidation begin to seep in. The brother hunches backwards and begins drooling excessively. The mother and father then do the same.
Hey, Erwin! No!
What are you screaming about, Billy?
Of course I'm
Shadowy substance bursts out of their mouths, destroying their bodies and turning into a demon. In the end, Jack defeats the demon and sets the family members free. But that happy ending does not erase the horrific tone and setting for the majority of the episode. Everything in this episode feels off, from the lack of background music to the way the demon is animated. The fact that we never learn who or what the demon is, or where it came from, is equally unsettling. Unlike Aku and the other villains, the demon is given absolutely no comedic moments.
Now hold still.
Let go of me, you creep!
Thought we should do it.
What?
Plot to play.
Most shows on this list have been aimed at kids around the age of 10. While still children, they are capable of handling scary moments from time to time. But what about a show aimed at preschoolers like Sesame Street? The character Limbo, also often referred to as Nobody, was a Muppet who disappeared almost as abruptly as he was introduced. He was made up of 2 floating eyes and a mouth over a black background, speaking with a deep and calm voice.